Hello everyone, this is Shadow Dragon back with another episode of DC Universe Online, and we're continuing coverage of episode 45, Shock to the System. In this video, I'll be simulating a reset day on a character that gets scaled up to the content. So this would be the event scaling for the open world.
Static's in charge. I'm just running interference.
So Cyborg has the initial quest.
Yo! You came through! It's lit! So many bang bays to bring back. And so many
Static begins
strange
the
and deranged
story.
weirdos to beat up. I'm talking
Story
shadow
mission.
monsters, parademons, even the Fussy Five. Oh, my bad. I mean, quote,
And then we're
unquote.
picking up the dailies, these ones with the
people out of the fire.
Even matter.
30 count
Let's show
for
'em Dakota
dailies.
City ain't nothing.
Rip the wings off these parademons.
Then we've got the
Fearsome
weeklies
5
here.
will be running scared of you.
Demonstrate your strength to me.
Hey! Been peeping you do your thing, saving the day. I'm a fan. Think you could help me out? Bang babies? You know the powered up metahumans like me? Well, they're going missing faster than the state funds that
Just
were
double
supposed
check
to be
that I
helping
got
them.
everything.
We gotta stop it. So meet me in Dakota City.
So it's definitely important to test the lower character, because typically everyone on test is like checking out the new gear and stuff, so they're like maxing out right in the beginning, and that's not a good representation of how this is going to look like when it goes live. I guess one other disclaimer here is if I pull up our skill points here, we are given a lot to begin with. There's no way to simulate a character with low skill points. I mean, you could like respec and then just put like a minimal amount in here, but the problem is you then can't armory switch. So unfortunately, we are testing with, this is probably the minimum, like a 3 something, 398, almost 400. This was the character I created like during the stats revamp. So it might be possible to have lower skill points in this. But they do give you something like 300, between 300 to 400. So no matter what level you start your tune, and currently you can only start at I think 34, but you're at 34 with 300 something skill points, which is which doesn't represent anyone. I think with the previous episode I did like a scale up test with this character, but she wasn't fully like built up because she didn't have the artifacts. So I just added those this time around, and they are close to what I have her at on the live server, so they are not maxed out. Again, when you see test characters that have maxed out artifacts all the time, like doing content, that's probably unrealistic. A lot of people do not have them fully leveled up, even though they're old. It's just the way the average community ends up, because you have people like leaving the game, and a lot of new people coming in. So not everyone is going to have maxed out artifacts. So if you inspect like a bunch of random people, most do not. So, a fair amount is, they turn on with 80, obviously. But with bonuses and stuff, and if you play the game a little bit, most people should probably be between like 100 to 160. So far, this doesn't seem too difficult. Without the 3 artifacts, though, it is going to feel difficult, because if you look back at my older tests where I didn't have the artifacts, and I tried a tune that's scaled up, it does look like a bit of a struggle, like just chopping down add health. Over into one of the other missions. Also, compared to the last video, in this one I am going back to the basic recording software that most of this channel is made up of, and that's called Playcloth. I had a few recent tests in OBS Studio because I was doing the control pad overlay, but I think that may have been causing the performance problem in my previous video. So I'm testing this one with just regular recording and no overlays, which kind of sucks because I think the overlay is useful, but I didn't find any problems, so it's okay to rerun this without that. These guys have the icons, so I might as well blow them away. So this was the Eben quest. I'll probably be able to knock this one off before moving to the next one, before moving to the one that I selected. Yeah, I don't have a good idea of the efficient order of zones quite yet, because if you highlight each daily quest, it's gonna light up two boxed areas. So I'm not quite familiar with where the objective types spawn and how randomized it is.
Stop doing that.
This one might take a little bit longer to get used to than other episodes just because the map is so much larger. Like if we look at the map, typically, yeah, you see the current quest I have selected has 2 red areas, and the other 2 are also like that. And if you look to the upper right, it's out of 50. So a lot of the other recent ones were 30-player zones. I'm thinking this one's about like the same player size as like Wonderverse and Legion, because those are the world boss formats, where you get that second currency that you can spam the bounties unlimited. So again, getting back to test server skill points, if we go all the way back to when we did the stats revamp, we initially tested the game with, it was like 100 and something skill points. I don't quite remember the number, but then they increased it to 100, I think it was 170. So the majority of the testing for the game you know, from the test server perspective, is you should have 170, and at the time we were testing, the highest content was about 190. So if you're slightly below the CR, because we were about 170, 190 for the majority of the period we were doing stats revamp, that should allow you to kind of do any build without running out of power, in my opinion. And that's the goal. You want to be able to run all of your attacks without running out of power. So that 170 skill point level, if you're beginning the game, is it's an important milestone. Generally, people say you should be the same skill points as CR. So, like, you know, if you're 385 currently in this episode, you should have that skill point amount. But even if you just, you know, use the skip and whatever, you grind it a little bit. I think the skip was 350, and then you grind it to get into this DLC. I would probably guess that you're probably 385, 100. From then on, you should try to build to that 170 as the first breakpoint. Like, you know, don't look at the max skill point number, otherwise you'll get overwhelmed. Aim for that. Go from that 100 to that 170. And then from there you start chipping away at the, you can use the next hundreds as the next milestone. So go from 170 to 200 to 300 and then to 400. Just do it little by little. Okay, so that does it for the dailies. I would say this is not so bad scaled up. I barely noticed the difference.
You really know how to put on a show. One of the people of Dakota City.
Have you ever crushed someone in their
that's the
own
case
room too?
currently too. Like if you look at Inferno Conduct, I've taken tunes as low as entry level 30 and have had no problem there.
I'll bring the charm. Let's roll.
There's no struggle because I mean, obviously you're going to be a little bit slower than a maxed out character, but it's still playable without anything being frustrating. Alright, so this is going up next week, April 13th. I'll try to get some more videos as they add stuff. So stay tuned to this channel, and thanks for watching.